ध्यायतः चरणाम्भोजम् ध्यायतश्चरणाम्भोजम् भावनिर्जित चेतसा भावनिर्जित चेतसा औत्कण्ठ्य अश्रुकला अक्षस्य औत्कण्ठ्याश्रुकलाक्षस्य हृदि आसीत् मे शनैः हरिः हृदि आसीन् मे शनैर्हरिः ध्यायतश्चरणाम्भोजम् भावनिर्जितचेतसा औत्कण्ठ्याश्रुकलाक्षस्य हृदि आसीन् मे शनैर्हरिः ध्यायतश्चरणाम्भोजम् भावनिर्जितचेतसा औत्कण्ठ्याश्रुकलाक्षस्य हृदि आसीन् मे शनैर्हरिः ध्यायतश्चरणाम्भोजम् भावनिर्जितचेतसा औत्कण्ठ्याश्रुकलाक्षस्य हृदि आसीन् मे शनैर्हरिः हृदि आसीन् मे शनैर्हरिः ध्यायतश्चरणाम्भोजम् भावनिर्जितचेतसा औत्कण्ठ्याश्रुकलाक्षस्य हृदि आसीन् मे शनैर्हरिः ध्यायतश्चरणाम्भोजम् भावनिर्जितचेतसा. Charanambhojam, the lotus feet of the localized personality of Godhead. Bhavanirjita, mind transformed in transcendental love for the Lord. Chetasa, all mental activities. Thinking, feeling and willing. Autkantya, eagerness. Ashrukala, tears roll down. Akshasya, of the eyes. Hridi, within my heart. Asid, appear. Me, my. Sanaihi, without delay. Harihi, the personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes. And without delay, the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna appeared on the lotus of my heart. Translation with repetition. As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes. And without delay, the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna appeared on the lotus of my heart. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word bhava is significant here. This bhava stage is attained after one has transcendental affection for the Lord. The first initial stage is called Shraddha, or a liking for the Supreme Lord. And in order to increase that liking, one has to associate with pure devotees of the Lord. The third stage is to practice the prescribed rules and regulations of devotional service. This will dissipate all sorts of misgivings and remove all personal deficiencies that hamper progress in devotional service. When all misgivings and personal deficiencies are removed, there is a standard faith in transcendental matter, and the taste for it increases in greater proportion. This stage leads to the attraction, and after this there is bhava, or the prior stage of unalloyed love for God. All the above different stages are but different stages of development of transcendental love. Being so surcharged with transcendental love, there comes a strong feeling of separation, which leads to 8 different kinds of ecstasies. Tears from the eyes of a devotee is an automatic reaction. And because Sri Narada Muni, in his previous birth, attained that stage very quickly after his departure from home, it was quite possible for him to perceive the actual presence of the Lord, which he tangibly experienced by his developed spiritual senses without material tinge. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we have a wonderful verse, and I don't want to get into the context, but we all know that this wonderful conversation which is happening between Narada Muni and Vedavyas, and we are the fortunate recipient of such wonderful conversation. It's a very beautiful verse today. Dhyatas charanam bhojam bhava nirjita chetasa outkantyashru kalakshasya hridiyasin me sanair harihi. And the translation is, as soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes. And without delay, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. So Dhyatas refers to meditation when Narada Muni, the 5-year-old boy, sat under the banyan tree, which we saw last time, the shade of that banyan tree, Pippalam. Tasmin nirmanojiranye pippalopastha ashritaha. Under that shade of banyan tree, when he sat and meditated, as he had heard from the Bhaktivedantis, yatha shrutam achintayam, and meditated on those instructions. So with that process, when he meditated, what happened? Of course, the qualification which is given here is bhava nirjita chetasa. With my mind transformed in transcendental love, then Outkantyashru kalakshasya. Outkantya, with great eagerness when he was doing this, Ashru kalakshasya, from his eyes, tears started rolling down. Hridiyashin me sanair harihi. And the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. Hridi asin. Asin is to manifest or appeared. Hridi, in the heart. Sanair, very quickly. As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, as soon as is actually used by Prabhupada, which is referring to that word Sanehi. So Sanehi Charanam Bhojam Dhyayataha. I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. with my mind transformed in transcendental love, bhava nirjita chetasa. Then tears roll down my eyes, ashru kala akshasya. And without delay, Sanai, again, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, Harihi, appeared is Asin on the lotus of my heart, Hridi Asin. That's the wonderful verse that we have today. Often we get this question from people who come across, whom we meet. Have you seen God? Can you show me God that you have seen God? Here is one instance which is personally narrated by a pure devotee of the Lord, and it is recorded in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Narad Muni, who's telling that he saw the Lord. This is a proof. This is a proof enough for us to understand that there is a process, and by following that process, one can see the Lord. So this is Narada Muni's first encounter with Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Very interesting. As we saw in the translation, as soon as I began to meditate, upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared on the lotus of my heart. There are a lot of things which are packed in this translation. If you just explore or unpack, first thing that Prabhupada is saying from this verse is the Lord manifested on the lotus of my heart. Not a small thing. Not at all a small thing. The Lord is manifesting on the lotus of my heart. Hridiyasin me sanair harihi. Hridiyasin, the Lord manifested. And what did Narad Muni do so that the Lord manifested? Dhyayataha charanam bhujam. He meditated on the lotus feet of Krishna. Dhyayataha charanam bhujam. Where did he learn this? He learned it from Yathashrutam Achintayam. He heard it from the Bhaktivedantis to meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna. Meditation on the lotus feet of Krishna, by that process, Lord manifested on the lotus of his heart. How long did it take? Sanaihi. This is a very important thing because we hear about Sankhya Yoga in the 6th chapter where it is mentioned that one has to meditate for a very long time. No. This is Bhakti Yoga. That's why the Lord immediately manifested. As soon as I began to meditate, the Lord manifested. And how did he manifest? Without delay. Sanaihi. How did he do? There are two things which are there. This equation is incomplete without these two things. Bhava nirjita chetasaha utkantya. You may say that, okay, I'll meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. Will the Lord manifest in my heart? Yes, he will, provided you are doing it with Bhava nirjita chetasaha and utkantya. Bhava nirjita chetasaha is translated by Prabhupada as my mind transformed in transcendental love upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. My mind transformed in the transcendental love. Very powerful word. Bhava nirjita chetasa and utkantya, with great eagerness. Eagerness that I must get Lord. I've got so many things that I have predefined. I have set as my target and goal. But Lord is also maybe there as one of the goals, but not really the goal in life. But when we have that utkantya with great eagerness, then the Lord manifests immediately, Sanaihi. And what was experienced by Narada Muni? Ashru kala akshasya. Tears were rolling down from his eyes. The tears rolling down from the eyes is a symptom of bhava, and Prabhupada explains that in the purport, Ashta Vikara Siddhi. So there are 8 manifestations of bhava when somebody reaches that stage. One of them is Ashru kala akshasya. When we have the darshan of the Lord or when we chant the names of the Lord, then naturally, this is not artificially, one cannot imitate this. Naturally, tears start flowing. Narada Muni experienced this. Actually, I have a picture of this. So this is where he started meditating. But if you see this verse, if you see this picture, He is meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, who seated as Paramatma in the heart, but you can see his eyes, tears are rolling down. It's a very beautiful verse, and there is a lot of things which Prabhupada is talking about. These pictures tell a lot of story. I'll come back to this. Let's see what Prabhupada's purport is focusing on. Prabhupada's purport is talking about a very simple thing, which we all have heard many times. And while writing, some of us, the initiation exam, this is one of the questions that is asked. And that is basically, how do we know what is the stage of devotional life we are currently fixed? Where are we in our journey of the spiritual life, in the spiritual journey of reaching back home, back to Godhead? Where am I currently? Why is it necessary? Well, it is very necessary because unless you know the destination and unless you know how far you are from, how will you make progress? So that is very important to know. And this task has been done by one of the able disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who heard these instructions from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and searched in various scriptures to find out how does a person make progress in spiritual life. And that person is none other than Rupa Goswami. Nana Sastra Vicharaneika Nipuna. They have gone through the conclusions of all the Vedic literatures, and after having gone through Nana Sastra Vicharaneika, having discussed, meditated, introspected, contemplated, they've given this. And what is the process? Ado Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Tatha Bhajana Kriya Tato Anartha Nivritti Syat Tato Nishtha Ruchis Tataha Atha Saktis Tato Bhavas Tatah Prema Abhyudanchati Sadhakanam Ayam Premnaha Pradur Bhave Bhavet Kramaha. The last word in this verse, which is here, there are two verses together. The last word is Kramaha. Anybody knows what is the meaning of the word Kramaha? Step by step. These are different stages. So it starts with Ado Shraddha. Let's see the translation. In the beginning, there must be faith. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. Therefore, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes firmly fixed in devotional service. Thereafter, one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually, emotions intensify, and finally, there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotee interested in Krishna consciousness. Now, this is a very important verse because for all of us who are practicing this Vidhi Bhakti or Sadhana Bhakti, it is important to know what are the stages which are going to come, or what are those milestones that one needs to cross to reach to the stage of Prema. Of course, it is not, there is no fixed formula. 2 years after initiation, you will become, you'll come to the stage of, let's say, Anartha Nivritti. 3 years, you'll develop Ruchi. 4 years, you'll have Asakti. 5th year, you'll have Bhava, and 6th year, you should have Prema. Had that been so easy, initiations plus 6 years equals to Krishna Prema. So you wait 94, okay, maybe 6 years, I'll get Krishna Prema and go back to home, back to God. Unless we know the process and know what it takes to go past certain things, it doesn't happen. So as it mentioned in this verse, it starts with Shraddha. With little faith, people come. Adu Shraddha. Very interestingly, the definition which Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives of faith is Shraddha Sabde Viswasa Kare Suddhra Nishchaya. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kritta Hai. That is a firm faith that will come little later. But initially, to start with, people have a general feeling that I liked it. Okay, the kirtan was nice. These people are nice. Prasadam is nice. Some wow, something, a little appreciation that brings the man to come to associate with devotees to know more. Adu Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Then he associates with devotees, he finds out what they do, how they live their life, what is their life based on. Oh, it is based on Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, under the instruction of a pure devotee spiritual master. They also develop more interest. Adu Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha, Atha Bhajana Kriya. Then happens the Bhajana Kriya, where somebody accepts a bona fide spiritual master and takes initiation from him. So far, so good. That's why, it is mentioned, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. But what happens is happiness vanishes. This is a fact. Because there is a big stage which comes after that called Anartha Nivrati. Or Acharyas, some of the commentaries of the Acharyas actually is very important to know. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says, imagine if you're climbing a mountain and you've climbed certain distance and you're looking at the top peak I have to reach. You've kept the goal and then you go. Actually, this mountain is reaching the peak is not the goal. You have to cross the mountain and go. But he says, Anartha Nivriti can be compared to the effort required to reach the peak. To some stage, you can walk little freely, comfortably. But when you look at the peak, and then you see that, yes, I have got a lot to climb, and then you finally crawl somehow to push yourself, lift your body and reach the top. That part is called the Anartha Nivriti. And unless Anartha Nivriti happens, the other stages like Nishtha, Ruchi, Asaktis, we have a glimpse of that. If that glimpse would have not been there, we would have not been here. But we really have not tasted it. We have not gone to that stage to experience what it takes, or what is Nishtha, or what is Ruchi, what is the taste in Bhagavatam, what is the taste in holy name, what is the taste in worshipping the deity. We have not yet have gone there. But it is possible provided we work consciously on that Anartha Nivriti. Now to understand that stage of Anartha Nivriti, I thought out of these 8 stages, this is something very important and relevant for us. Let's see what it means to even Anartha Nivriti. What does it mean? Let me ask you this question. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years back, 500 plus years back, what was the reason? Why did he appear? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years back. Gaura Punya, we celebrate. Why did he appear? To give us Krishna Prem. And that's all. He had? Okay, so basically all are right answers, but if you see from Chaitanya Charitamrita, very directly the answer is given by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami for 2 reasons. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prema rasa niryasa karite aswadan, raga marga bhakti loke karite pracharan. Rasika Sekhara Krishna Parama Karuna, ei dui hetu haite ichhara udgama. How does Lord Krishna decide to become Chaitanya? This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. I mean, there are also external reasons and internal reasons, but primarily, there's 2 things. Prema rasa niryasa karite aswadan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to experience the mellows of the gopis, Radharani. How she is having so much of attraction for me. Let me also experience that. Prema rasa niryasa karite aswadan. He came down. And raga marga bhakti loke karite pracharan. Raga marga bhakti, the bhakti that we are following, that bhakti, this process of Raga Marga Bhakti, to broadcast, to spread this, he appeared. The Lord's desire to appear was born from 2 reasons. The Lord wanted to taste the sweet essence of the mellows of love of God, and he wanted to propagate devotional service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction. Thus is known as the supremely jubilant and as the most merciful of all. Now, before even we go to the stage of anartha nivritti, I wanted to tell you how much of you know what is actually anartha. Because if we don't know what anarthas are, nivritti to baat ki baat. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, okay, by the way, in 8.6 billion years of Brahma, Krishna appears once. Because 1,000 years of day, 1,000 Divya Yugas of is his daytime, and 1,000 Divya Yugas is his nighttime. So 1,000 Divya Yugas is 4.3 billion years. So multiply that by 2, 8.6 billion years of Brahma, once Krishna appears. And when Krishna appears in that Dwapara Yuga, followed by the next Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. And actually, look at our good fortune. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here just 500 years back. These are all facts. These are not some hyperboles. The actual calculation of Brahma's lifespan is given. And in such a fabulous long lifespan, in one day of Brahma, Krishna is appearing once. And in that once appearance of Krishna in Vrindavan, he spends only 11 years in Vrindavan. But those 11 years that he spends, he performs such wonderful, attractive pastimes. It attracts the minds of all conditioned living entities like us. So we get a desire to be part of that Krishna's wonderful pastimes. Anybody knows what is the Paribhasa Sutra of Bhagavatam? Which verse? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete chamsa kalah pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Very interestingly, we should know what are we trying to achieve. Because sometimes in Bhagavatam, also in the pages of Bhagavatam, you may find there are other personalities also who are addressed as Bhagavan, Bhagavan Vyasa, Bhagavan Narada, Bhagavan Shiva. So you may get confused. That is why Paribhasa Sutra is the shloka or the verse based on which the entire Bhagavatam is expanded. And that verse says, as per the Acharyas, Ede Jam Sakala Pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That Krishna, Nandanandan Krishna, is the original personality of Godhead. There may be so many other Krishna forms. There may be a Narasimhadev who will appear from the pillars in another few days, or Lord Ram who will appear. But Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And we are trying to achieve Krishna Prema. Mind you, the product that we are trying to buy is not as easily available commodity. It is a very rare commodity. So imagine you go to a shopping mall, or sometimes I see in our Amazon account is being used by so many devotees. So you'll find in that shopping cart, there are so many items which are put. 50, 60 items are there, but it is not purchased. It is just saved maybe for some time. So you go to a shopping mall, similar thing. You see there are so many items which are very attractive, and you see, oh, this, what is that? Jacket is very nice. Which one you got that day? Change it. Columbia. Okay, Columbia jacket. And you saw another one, something. You put it in the cart, you keep putting. And then you come to the check-in counter where the person is standing there and you show all the items. Then at that time you see the price tag, and then you see, oh my God, this is expensive. I can't buy it. You just keep it aside. Keep it aside. Only that much you can buy, as much of currency you have. So the word anartha, artha means which is valuable, or which is like your money, the currency that you have. So with a certain currency, you can buy certain things. You want to buy Krishna Prema, you need to have that much of currency. What is that currency? Sometimes we don't know what is the value that we have to pay to get Krishna Prema. It is not a small thing. That is why the position of the gopis, the position of Radharani is very, very exalted. There is no personal consideration there. They've gone past that. There are some anarthas, which I will say, what are they? But let's say, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Mascharya. These are all the things which are there, deep-rooted within us. And another big one is our false ego. With these currencies, you can't purchase Krishna Prema. You can find position here. You can find material accolades, material wealth, material pratishtha. All these things you can get it with all those anarthas. But with those currencies, Krishna Prema is not achievable. For example, if you don't know what does it take to have that kind of a currency, let's see the two examples that I'm giving. One is the love of Yasodamai to Krishna, right? Or for that matter, any residents of Vrindavan, how they used to think Krishna. The moment we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is a Aishwarya Bhava which comes naturally. I feel I'm subservient to him, I should worship him. But look at the mood of Yashodamai. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam, Traya Chopanishadbhischa Sankhya Yogescha Sattvatehi Upagiyamana Mahatmyam Harim Samanya Atmajam. Even the Upanishads are saying that we should glorify, the Sankhya Yoga is telling that we should worship the Supreme Lord. Upagiyamana Mahatmyam, the great personalities are also saying that we should worship. But for Yashodamai, Krishna is always his son, her son. The glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are studied through the three Vedas, the Upanishads, the literature of Sankhya Yoga and other Vaishnava literature. Yet Mother Yashoda considered that Supreme Person her ordinary child. Actually, the Lord displayed the entire universe in his mouth. His Virata Rupa, he showed it multiple times, 2 times at least. Yet, knowing that Mother Yashoda was so deeply absorbed, Bhava Nirjita Chetasa, she thought this is my own child only. This is not, this is not some extraordinary person. No. So this is a very high stage of lava. Actually, to understand what is Braja Prem, it's a very high subject matter. To explain even someone that, the Lord becomes chastised by his mother with a stick. He gets bound and the Lord enjoys that. This is beyond the imagination. Take any branch of religion, be it Christianity or Muslim or whatever different literatures. This kind of things are not available. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to experience that and to distribute that. So imagine you're a very poor pauper, a mendicant in the street, and somebody comes and gives you a diamond. You have no idea what diamond is. And of the diamonds also, this is the topmost. There may be, different diamonds, but this is like the highest diamond. And somebody is distributing that to you freely. Just take it. Take it. Freely, and that to no task and no tax, nothing. Just take it. Nishulka. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvisha Namo. That personality of Godhead, when he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributes this. Take. If you still didn't understand what is the value that you have to pay to get this Krishna Prema, look at another example, little different example. Okay, it is already displayed. This is the example of Bali Maharaj. Okay, Bali Maharaj. This verse, it has come where it is mentioned, that Bali Maharaj, everything was stripped off. One small dwarf boy came in the form of Lord Narayana came, the Lord appeared in the form of dwarf. And in the name of just taking 3 steps, he took away everything. But after having taken away, after having, been stripped off, what was the mood of Bali Maharaj? Pumsam slaghyatamam manye dandam arhatam arpitam yamna mata pita bhrata suhurdas chadisantihe. Although a father, mother, brother, or friend may sometimes punish one as a well-wisher, they never punish their subordinate like this. But because you are the most worshipable Lord, I regard the punishment you have given me as most exalted. Very interesting thing. What is he saying? Look at the position of Bali Maharaj. Imagine you are the emperor. You have got all the powers. You have got thousands and millions of followers. You are a celebrity. And in one moment, In 1 second, somebody comes and strips you of everything, and he binds you, and he makes you, you're just nobody. All your money, everything is taken away, everything is gone. What would be the reaction? So, wow, so nice of you, no? How many of us will do that? But look at Bali Maharaj. Pumsam Slaghyatamam Manye. Slaghyatamam, the most exalted. I'm considering this punishment to be the most exalted. Why this is most exalted? There are punishments which are given by our father, mother, our superiors, but this punishment is coming from the Supreme Lord. That is why this is most exalted. Even if the Lord chastises, that chastisement is far superior than being praised by some mundane people. Can we accept that? Imagine in one side you have Krishna who is ready to punish you, and in another side there are demigods who are standing. Le le beta, kya chahiye tere ko? Dhan chahiye? Le le. Ye chahiye? I'm ready. Which one we will take? Huh? Obviously. Even at least this is an honest answer. We may say, no, we will take the punishment of Krishna. Not really. So Krishna prema, to get Krishna, that is why Bali Maharaj is a Mahajan. It's not like that they put their name, okay, Bali also, dal do, Bali ko bhi dal do, Mahajan ban jayega, theek hai. Hum uska naam lenge. They have crossed this. Anartha Nivrati. Anartha is a stage which is a painful stage. It's a slow process. And unless one is careful of, going past the stage, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, these things are far-fetched, very far-fetched. Even to understand what Anartha is, it takes a lot of time. What is Braja Bhakti? How do I get a ticket? How do I get a currency to buy, to even understand what is this, to get an entrance into this? Even Lord Shiva, Brahma, they don't get an entrance to Braja Bhakti. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, they come and they exhibit, they give this. You are actually entering into that. For that, you have to pay price. So now we will see what are the Anarthas. And to see this, actually I didn't put it in the slides, but I'll just tell you from, our Acharyas have given elaborate commentaries, but I want to just talk about the Anarthas which are given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What are the Anarthas? It's very important to know. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has divided the Anarthas into 4 categories. How many categories? 4 categories. The first category that he says, that Anarthas which come because of Papa and Punya. Because of Papa and because of Punya. Some sinful activities we do in this material world, some pious activities we do. Mind you, some pious activities also give Anarthas. So the first category is the one that is coming from Papa and Punya. Then there is the second category, which is coming as called Asuddha Bhaktya. So his Papa is 1 and Punya is 1. He's actually keeping it as 2. The third one is from Asuddha Bhakti. Bhakti which is not Suddha, which is not purified. That gives Anarthas. And the last one that he's saying is Aparadha. That is called Asuddha Bhava. One is Asuddha Bhakti, one is Asuddha Bhava. So Asuddha Bhava is Aparadha, where there are different Aparadhas like Nama Aparadha, Dhama Aparadha, Seva Aparadha, and Vaishnava Aparadha. Let's take the first one first. The ones that is coming because of Papa and Punya. Very interesting thing, what he explains. I don't know how much we have time, but these are very, very important things, how they manifest in our heart and what needs to be done. The first thing is Punya. The Anarthas which arise because of Punya. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling that somebody who gets attached to Sattva Guna, or somebody who gets attached to Mukti, 2 things. One who gets attached to Sattva Guna, or one who gets attached to Mukti. Mukti means one who is just looking for liberation. In nutshell, what it means is, so somebody who's getting attached to Sattva Guna, that means I just don't want to get disturbed in material life. Even if I have become a devotee, I have a certain comfort zone. I've been doing this service. All of a sudden, if there is a change, I revolt. The revolt is so much that we forget the goal of our devotional service is to please Krishna. But there, the challenge becomes that first is my comfort. all of a sudden, why this is being asked to me? This was not something I have ever done. I have a taste for something else. Why that? Actually, these are all anarthas. To give you an example of this, there was a disciple of Prabhupada, you all know, by name Howard Willer. Huh? Hayagriva. So Hayagriva Prabhu, he was that beard man. He was in West Virginia temple along with Kirtanananda. So Prabhupada, one day he decided that let's make Hayagriva the temple president of West Virginia. He got to know it somehow. This news spreads, right? Everywhere this happens, even in devotee communities also. Some of these things spreads very fast. Oh, he's going to be the next temple president. So that news reached him, and he didn't want to. He said, I have a nice life, and becoming a temple president is a lot of responsibilities. I should not do this. So he's a English professor. So he wrote down 3 pages of points to tell to Prabhupada when Prabhupada is asking him why he should not become the temple president. My sadhana will get disturbed. This thing will happen. So many things he wrote. Very nicely explained points. He folded it and kept it in his pocket. Prabhupada came in front of him. So Prabhupada said, I have something to tell you. So Hayagriva was ready to take the piece of paper, right? So he said, yes, Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, you should become sannyasi. Sannyasi? He said, but I just got recently married, Prabhupada. That's okay, that's all right. You should take sannyas. I have a small child. No, that doesn't matter. Become sannyas. I'm so young. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas at 24. What is the problem? He's our acharya. You just become sannyas. So said then he was almost about to fall down at Prabhupada's feet. I mean, his head was reeling. Sannyas kahan se banunga main? I mean, just married, have a child, and all things started coming in his mind. He said, no, Prabhupada, no, I can't do that. Prabhupada said, okay, become temple president. Right. So actually, the point I'm trying to say is, many times we don't want to get disturbed from our set pattern. I have certain things that I've planned in my life. I don't want to go past that comfort zone. You don't go there, forget about Krishna prema. The real goal of our devotional life is how much we are adapting to things that we don't like. That is actually the sign of advancement. The moment it is spoken, oh, I can't do this. Oh, this is medicine nahi hota hai. I mean, forget about there's all this, there is no question of surrender at that time. There's all your false ego which is speaking, which doesn't allow you to even go past this unearthing ability. There is another example of there are many examples actually. There is that what is that German devotee who was also part of the level? Hamsaduta. So Hamsaduta, he was in Vrindavan. Okay, and those days, 1974, 1973. Nicely, they have come from the US and other parts of Europe, and they're there now. Few of the handful were there, and they're doing temple construction. Krishna Balram temple is getting built. Initially, there was struggle. After that, life is okay. I mean, it took some time for Krishna Balram temple to manifest. So Hamsaduta was there, and Prabhupada once came, and he said he was thinking in his mind that Hamsaduta should go to Sri Lanka. So he came and he told Hamsaduta, you should go to Sri Lanka. Hamsaduta is thinking, Vrindavan, I'm in the Dham, Krishna's abode, and Prabhupada is asking me to go to Sri Lanka. What will I do there? He didn't want to go. Prabhupada, Sri Lanka, I will not go. Something like that he told. Said, no, I'm not interested in going to Sri Lanka. Prabhupada said, okay, you go to Pakistan. So he had to go to Sri Lanka. Of course, these are all, I'm just telling one, these are all examples of, even devotees, when they come to Krishna consciousness, what attracts people usually is the prasadam that we get, right? That prasadam, you might be hearing, okay, Parikshit Maharaj went through so many problems. 5,000 years back, he was cursed. Pandavas also went through so many problems, but despite those problems, they didn't give up their faith and conviction on Krishna. For us, small little problem happens, our life is, oh, I'm going, something is something. That is not bhakti. Along with the prasadam that we get, which is attractive, which is good, that we have an attraction, there is another prasadam. That prasadam is the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. This prasadam, when we take it properly, then our vision changes, our darshan. Darshan is also one word which is used. This is called darshan. The way we look at things, the way we perceive things changes. That is only possible if we are paying good attention to this. If we are hearing, then only things become different. In the case of Narada Muni, when we are feeling happy that Narada Muni got darshan of the Lord, one thing which we should remember is at the age of 5, when his mother died, when that incident happened, how did Narada Muni take this? Because he got this darshan of Krishna, very interestingly, because of this one episode in his life where he took this particular episode, which is there in Bhagavatam, that his mother died, the only shelter that he had. And Narada Muni's reaction to that was, Tadatadaham isasya bhaktanam sam abhipshatah anugraham manyamanah pratishtham disamuttara. He started walking in the north direction. The only reason why he did that was Tadatadaham isasya bhaktanam sam abhipshatah. He considered this to be the favor of the Lord. Anugrahanam manyamanah. When this conviction comes, it is not now somebody can think that, oh, my Lord, my only shelter was Krishna. My only shelter was my poor mother. I didn't have even a father. I'm living in a very wretched condition and you took away her. What is this? This is cruelty. And one can think like that. But when you have the knowledge of Bhagavatam, when you have the prasadam, Bhagavatam, when it has gone, then the vision changes. He took it as mercy of the Lord. The Lord is always merciful. He is doing things which is necessary for me. He's putting me in those situations so that I can go past the stage. And he could utilize this. That is how he could have the darshan of the Lord. Or take the example of there's Bhagavatam is filled with examples of this. From first canto till the 10th canto, you see. Take the examples of Brajavasis. Brajavasis could have told when Krishna was not there, their life was very blissful. They were doing whatever they wanted to. There was peaceful. They were worshipping Indra. The moment Krishna came, demons started attacking. People told, "Kya problem hai, Baba? Krishna aaya, then all these problems. Let Krishna go to Mathura. No? I'll be happy." But no, they were convinced and they were focused how we can please Krishna. The goal of life is how we can please Krishna. If that goal is missing, then we are here in this material world. We can live here in this material world with all our anarthas forever. But to go past this, Krishna makes us go through the situations. Krishna puts us in those situations where we need to develop those right attitude and the qualities to experience Krishna. Mind you, this product that we are buying is very, very pricey. It's not a cheap thing that we are buying. To get that, all the devotees, if you see there in their lives, they have gone through this problem. They've gone through this difficulties. They've gone through this challenges. That is how their hearts have been transformed. The word that is used here is Bhava Nirjita Chetasa. Bhava Nirjita Chetasa will come when Anartha Nivriti happens. So this is the Anartha related to Punya. There are Anarthas related to Papa. Anarthas related to Papa come with our birth. Some of the Anarthas we carry it in our heart since the time of our birth. There are 5 in number called Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. Avidya, ignorance about our constitutional position, ignorance about the Supreme Lord, ignorance about our relationship with Him. Asmita, attraction to our bodily conception of life. My body should be, even that in attachment to that Sattva-guna, the one that I was talking about, Punya. In that also, somebody is very concerned about his body. Body ko kuch nahi hona hai. I should be just fine with all comfortable situation. Then if something is possible with that, I will do little devotion. It's not devotion actually. That is a anartha. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha and Abhinivesha. These are all very elaborate things. I don't want to start something which I can't finish. I'll just give you the other 4 things. Asuddha Bhakti. Asuddha Bhakti. Bhakti when it is not done in a purified manner, the Suddha Bhakti. there are anarthas which come, and those anarthas which we know mostly, this is puja, labha, pratishtha, all those things comes. Because if you remember, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction to Rupa Goswami, he says, along with the creeper of bhakti, there are also the weeds which grow. And these weeds are puja, labha, pratishtha. Along with this, they grow because, with the shravanam and with the watering process that we are doing, this is very conducive for them to grow. So somebody becomes, oh, this happened because of me. I see some profit in that, then I do that. These are all anarthas and weeds which grow and needs to be uprooted. These are all very nicely given in one book called Nectar of Instruction. There are 6 things which are unfavorable for devotional life. What are they? Atyahara, ayasascha, prajalpa, niyamagraha, janasangascha, lolyamchas, sadbir bhakti vinasya. Nectar of Instruction is one small book written by Rupa Goswami, very powerful, in telling us these 3 things: how not to do bhakti in a neglectful way, in an offensive way, and an inattentive way. NOI. In a neglectful way, in an offensive way, and an inattentive way. So how one should do bhakti, that is given very nicely in Nectar of Instruction. And the last one is aparadha, which I was talking about, which has got nama, dhama, and seva and vaishnava. Nama aparadha, we know that there are 10 offenses. There is dhama aparadha also. When you go to a dham, if you don't know, unknowingly you may commit offenses. Seva aparadha, while doing sevas also you can commit offenses, and vaishnava aparadha, the topmost in that. These are all the anarthas which grow or which manifest in due course of time, and a sadhaka has to be very careful to uproot them. And once one uproots them, then he goes to the next stage, nishtha. Nishtha is like a state where you reach, you're stable. It's a steady state. You don't waver there. And then you asakti, then ruchi, then taste comes, then one experiences bhava and prema. To conclude our time together, just want to tell you one last thing, which is there in Bhagavatam. Prasadam, which I was talking about, the prasadam of Bhagavatam, when we hear as given by a pure devotee spiritual master, with the right mood, with the right intention. Of course, it is, the mind is constantly disturbed, rebellious, doesn't pay attention. But even if we pay attention, even little, one word, one line can actually transform our life. The 2 verses from Bhagavatam, which you can see, 2.8.4 and 5, where it is mentioned, Shrinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam, Grinatascha Sucheshtikam, Kalena Nati Dirghena, Bhagavan Vishate Hriti. Shrinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam. Shrinvataha, you have to hear. Shraddhaya. Shraddhaya is actually very nicely translated by Prabhupada is with earnestness, not with faith. The earnestness. Shrinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam, regularly. Grinatascha Socheshtitam. And one has to endeavor, has to take this matter seriously. It's not some small thing. You want to achieve something, and for that there is no endeavor, there is no seriousness, and we are doing all other things, then how life will be, how can we possibly get Krishna prema? Shrinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam, Grinatascha Sucheshtitam, Kalena Nati Dirghena. If somebody does that, Nati Dirghena, it doesn't take long time. Bhagavan Vishate Hriti, the Lord manifests in the heart. It's a powerful thing given by our acharyas in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the process is also defined. Like Narada Muni, for him, the Lord manifested the same way the Lord can manifest in our hearts, provided we follow this process. In the next verse, it is mentioned, Pravishta Karna Randhena, Swanam Bhava Saroruham, Dhunoti Samalam Krishna, Salilasya Yathasara. The heart needs to be completely cleansed. It has to be completely free from all the contaminations, the impurities. Then the Lord manifests. With the contamination, with the anarthas, with the unwanted things, with the impurities, with the dirty things, Lord doesn't manifest. And Pravishta Karna Randhena, when these powerful words of Krishna enter through our ears, Swanam Bhava Saroruham, Dhunoti Samalam Krishna, Dhunoti, it just it's not like, it's Gundicha Marjana, you can just think of how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was cleansing the heart. Like that, the heart needs to be completely cleansed, completely. It's while cleansing the anything, it's also a tedious process. It's a laborious, exhausting process. Similarly, the heart cleansing is also a very laborious process. But it happens. When it happens, Salilasya Yatha Sarat, then the Lord manifests. Like the Salila, the water of the Sarat, of the Sarat Ritu, when the rain happens, all the dirty impurity things gets cleansed. So when people say that, I don't have time, I'm not able to come to temple, I am busy with my work, I'm busy with my studies, I'm busy with calls, I'm busy with my other things in life. You are right. You have all those important things which you are saying, but it is also right that you have time. Why? How? Do you not watch WhatsApp and Facebook or Netflix or Amazon, even having all those work and all those things? Answer is yes. We all do that at some point in time. Every day we spend some time on that. There is a purport of Prabhupada in the first canto, 9th chapter, where Prabhupada is talking about a reserve energy. When Bhishmadev is quitting his body, it is mentioned, there is a reserve energy of every living entity, which he uses either in the service of Maya or in the service of Krishna. So anarthas are basically nothing but using that reserve energy in the service of Maya. That the time that we are spending, because there is a conditioning and we are attracted to those things. But if we can control, that's what is called anartha nivritti. So when you use that reserve energy, you do whatever you want to do, whatever material work, assignments, duties you want to do, you do it. But the rest time that you have, give the importance to spiritual things. Give, because this human life is meant for that. You can achieve that only in this human form of life. And so rare it is that we have come just after 500 years after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And that too, we have come in touch with a pure devotee spiritual master. So easy for it is, if we, in one way, if we see. But we have to go through the stages of devotion as given by Prabhupada. Let's stop here. Let's see if you have any questions or comments. Nama, Dhamma, Seva, and Vaishnava.
Different category of anarthas apart from the four, when you have classified all anarthas into four categories. Six things are unfavorable, as well as 3 things neglectful, offensive, and inattentive. Do they fall under these four?
That NOI I just told neglectful, offensive, and inattentive. That's nectar of instruction. So that one book talks about how not to practice bhakti. Apart also how to do bhakti, but it is also given many things as what not to be done. So these are not different, but this is a separate classification altogether. Bhakti Vinod Thakur's classification is this 4, which he has given in a book called Bhakti Tattva Viveka. That's why our philosophy is, there are 2 things which happens when somebody comes to Sattva-guna. Apart from that, all the holes become purified and illuminated. One desires to hanker up after the spiritual life or spiritual knowledge, but also he gets bound to happiness and knowledge, where he feels that why should I work hard? What should be? Because I'm happy in my state of life, whatever I'm doing. That is how he gets caught up in this material world. So even after taking to devotional life, one feels that my life is so comfortable. I mean, I'm supposed to chant, I'm supposed to do these things. We predefine this in our mind that this is how my life should go. The moment there is a change which comes, there is a natural agitation. There is a natural the disturbance is something which we can't take it easily. That false ego rebels at that time. But that is where actually you need to surrender. By many examples, actually, these are all very nicely explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. One is the example of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself. When he got the dream to write this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, the way Chaitanya Charitamrita is written is a big inspiration for one to just to know how it was written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami at that ripened age of 90, where he was in another place, and he got this dream by Nityananda Prabhu appeared, and he told him that you should write the biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, go to Vrindavan. He got up in the morning, he left Vrindavan. Okay, nothing. Just go. He goes. Like that, Madhavendra Puri, when he was carrying those, sandalwood, when the Lord appeared in his dream that you go get the sandalwood from Jagannath Puri, he didn't think twice, thrice. What should I go? Should I not? I'm an old man. After all, why I have to go? None of those things. Immediately left. And when the Lord said that you can apply those sandalwood paste to Remuna at the Krishnachara Gopinath, it is as good as applying it to me. He didn't complain at that time. Oh, I brought so much. I did all these things. After that, you are telling me I'll not do this. These are all the places. These are all the situations in life where a person molds as per the superior authority sought. That is how he advances in devotional life. One nice example is there of Prabhupada when he had asked, this is there in Hari Sauri's book, he had asked Hari Sauri to get some kachori. So he went to the kitchen and there was a Mataji who was working in the kitchen. He said, kachori chahiye Prabhupada. So she made with all hard work, whatever kachori ingredients were there, not there, somehow she made it. And she gave that kachori to Hari Sauri Prabhu to give it to Prabhupada. By the time she made it, it was a little late. So I don't want this kachori. Keep it, but I'll have it tomorrow. Hari Sauri he took that plate and gave it to the Mataji. Now, whichever that place, I don't remember what he says, but the place was not a very big place, probably in our kitchen, right? Not a lot of space there that you can store anything and everything. Hari Sauri came and he gave it to Mataji, saying that Prabhupada has told he'll eat it tomorrow. Keep it proper place, in the proper place. She told, I don't know, I don't care. Where is the proper place? You have to keep it wherever you want to, and that's how it will happen. So what happened the next day? Prabhupada asked, where is kachori? Hari Sauri goes to kitchen and he says, Mataji, where is kachori? Kachori was not there. So kachori is not there. And Mataji said, it's not there. Then Hari Sauri said, Prabhupada is asking, where is kachori? And saying, you're not there. I don't know who took. So then he asked, what should I tell Prabhupada? Say that some cat came and he just took away the kachori, ate and finished it. So Hari Sauri goes and tells it to Prabhupada. And then after some time, the conversation is over. This Mataji was eagerly waiting to hear what Prabhupada, what did he say after hearing that the cat has taken. So she asked Hari Sauri. So what did Prabhupada say after hearing the cat has taken the kachori? Prabhupada said, it is not any cat who has taken. The person who has made the kachori, she has only taken. So this Mataji got further furious. First of all, I made the kachori with all hard work. I don't know who took that kachori. Now Prabhupada is blaming that I have taken the kachori. See what is happening? So this all happens in our life also. First of all, when you tell someone to take some service, he will say, I don't know. And all those things. And then she is getting furious inside that mere upar blame aa raha hai. But what is missing in this is that the goal is Prabhupada wants kachori. And I should make the kachori to make Prabhupada happy. Luckily, that thing came in her consciousness. Oh, Prabhupada is asking kachori today. Let me do it again. And she did it. Prabhupada ate 7 or 8 kachoris. This is the difference. So anarthas are the ones which prevent us to follow the instructions, to take to this. This is austere. This is what is the austerity. But you have to buy that. In your cart, you've got all the pricey items. You want Krishna Prema. and you want to live in your comfortable life with all your anarthas, then how it is? You can live happily in this material world with all those things. You want to go to the spiritual world, then the currency is different. You need to go through that. Jagranthra, okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Suddha Sattva. So when you come to the stage of that Suddha Sattva or the Vasudeva state, that is nothing but actually you've gone past the anartha and everything. Then what is it? Is not an artificial imposition on you. See, the Ragamat, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is to bring one to the stage of spontaneous devotion to Krishna. We are actually Krishna's. We are part and parcel of the Lord. But right now, because of our forgetfulness of our own position, it is called sadhana bhakti. We are forced to follow certain rules and regulations. But these rules and regulations are meant to take us to that stage where we naturally do this. Even after our death, we will go back and continue to do this service. So that stage has to come. That is what is called the Suddha stage. Then there is no question of you're relishing that. There is ruchi, there is asakti, there is all those things are there, and you're addicted to doing devotional service. So there's no more trap or pulled by the Maya. You've gone past that stage. Jagranthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.